The Śūraṅgama Sutra, Volume 4, 64. Lacking separation and union, the sensation of contact is fundamentally non-existent. Without arising and ceasing, knowing is put to rest. You only need not follow the 12 conditioned attributes of movement and stillness, union and separation, blandness and variety, penetration and obstruction, production and extinction, and brightness and darkness. Accordingly, extract one organ, free it from adhesion, and subdue it at its inner core. Once subdued, it will return to primal truth and radiate its innate brilliance. When that brilliance shines forth, the remaining 5 adhesions will be freed to accomplish total liberation. Do not follow the knowing and seeing influenced by objects before you. True understanding does not follow from the sense organs. Yet lodged at the organs is the potential to discover the mutual functioning of the 6 organs. Ananda, don't you know that now in this assembly, Aniruddha is blind and yet can see? The dragon Upananda is deaf and yet can hear. The spirit of the Ganges river has no nose and yet smells fragrances. Gavampati has an unusual tongue and yet tastes flavor. And the spirit Shunyata has no body and yet is aware of contact. In the light of the Tathagata, this spirit is illumined temporarily as an ethereal essence without substance. In the same way, Mahakāshyapa, who is also in this assembly, dwells in the samadhi of extinction, having obtained the tranquility of Ahira. He has long since put to rest the mind organ, and yet he has a perfectly clear knowledge, which is not due to the mental process of thinking. Ananda, if you can completely extract all your organs, you will glow with an inner brilliance. Then the ephemeral defiling objects and all the changing phenomena of the material world will become like ice being melted by hot liquid. In response to your mind, the transformation will bring unsurpassed enlightenment. Ananda, consider a person who has confined seeing to his eyes. If you suddenly have him close his eyes, he will see darkness before him. The 6 organs will be enveloped in total darkness. From head to toe, he will experience that. If the person traces the shape of external things with his hands, then even though he cannot see, he can recognize someone from head to toe. Enlightenment is also like that. If light were the condition requisite for seeing, then darkness would bring the absence of seeing. But to perceive without light would mean that no dark manifestation could obscure the seeing. Once the organs and objects suddenly melt away, how could the enlightened brightness that results be anything but perfect and wonderful? Ananda said to the Buddha, Bhagavan, as the Buddha has said, the resolve for enlightenment on the cause ground which seeks the eternal must be in mutual accord with the ground of fruition. Bhagavan, the ground of fruition is Bodhi, Nirvana, true suchness, the Buddha nature, the Amala consciousness, the empty treasury of the Tathagata, the great perfect mirror wisdom. But although it is called by these 7 names, it is pure and perfect. Its substance is enduring, like royal Vajra, eternal and indestructible. If the seeing, hearing, and the rest are ultimately devoid of substance apart from light and darkness, movement and stillness, and penetration and obstruction, and the rest, then they would be like thoughts which, apart from immediate sense objects, do not exist at all. How could an ultimate annihilationism like that be a cause by which one cultivates in the hope of obtaining the Tathagata's 7-fold eternal fruition? Bhagavan, if seeing is ultimately empty, apart from light and darkness, just as thoughts cease of themselves in the absence of any immediate sense object, then my comparisons become circular, and no matter how carefully I search, there seems to be no such thing as my mind, or what pertains to it. Just what should be used to seek the unsurpassed enlightenment? The Tathagata previously referred to a tranquil essence, perfect and eternal. His present contradiction defies belief and is resort to idle theorizing. How can the Tathagata's words be true and actual? I only hope the Buddha will let fall his great compassion and instruct us who do not understand and who are holding on tightly. The Buddha told Ananda, "You study and learn much, but you have not yet put an end to outflows. In your mind you know only the causes of being upside down. But when the true inversion manifests, you really cannot recognize it yet. Lest your sincerity and faith remain insufficient, I will try to make use of an ordinary event to dispel your doubts." Then the Tathagata instructed Rahula to strike the bell once, and he asked Ananda, "Did you hear that?" Ananda and the members of the Great Assembly all said, "We heard it." The bell ceased to sound, and the Buddha again asked, "Do you hear it now?" Ananda and the members of the Great Assembly all said, "We do not hear it." Then Rahula struck the bell again. The Buddha again asked, "Do you hear it now?" Ananda and the Great Assembly again said, "We hear it." The Buddha asked Ananda, "What do you hear, and what do you not hear?" Ananda and the members of the Great Assembly all said to the Buddha, "When the bell is rung, we hear it. Once the sound of the bell ceases, so that even its echo fades away, we do not hear it." The Tathagata again instructed Rahula to strike the bell, and asked Ananda, "Is there a sound now?" Ananda and the members of the Great Assembly all said, "There is a sound." After a short time the sound ceased, and the Buddha again asked, "Is there a sound now?" Ananda and the Great Assembly answered, "There is no sound." After a moment Rahula again struck the bell, and the Buddha again asked, "Is there a sound now?" Ananda and the Great Assembly said together, "There is a sound." The Buddha asked Ananda, "What is meant by sound, and what is meant by no sound?" Everyone in the Great Assembly, including Ananda, told the Buddha, "When the bell is struck, there is a sound. Once the sound ceases and even the echo fades away, there is said to be no sound." The Buddha said to Ananda and the Great Assembly, "Why are you inconsistent in what you say?